Accept my humble obeisances, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you for joining. Please accept my humble obeisances, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Today Guru Maharaj is going to enlighten us on the topic of the milk issue. So today and tomorrow, Guru Maharaj is going to continue this topic. So Guru Maharaj, over to you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. Om Gyan Timidandasya Gyana Jana Salakaya. The devotees can turn on their videos too, because I won't be, reading from any text or anything. But yeah, I will be reading from some, but it's nice that the devotees can turn on their videos.
Yes,
Om Gyan Timidandasya Gyana Jana Salakaya Chaksu Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tina Vinay Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya De Satarine Panchakalpa Tarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Vaibhacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna, Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaur, Bhaktivinoda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'm about to deliver a topic that is somewhat, and I would not say somewhat, but very much controversial, both in the world and in the society of devotees, particularly. And that is, we call it the milk issue, and that's just a title, but it is centered around and related to our connection with milk products based on our lifestyle, our philosophy, and our needs as individuals and also as families also. My god sister, who goes back all the way with me to 1973, we both got initiated together in New Vrindavan in 1973. She has put together a book called The Milk Issue, and she directly been researching, because this issue is whether, when it comes right down to it, whether we should take milk products coming from the secular world, or should we take milk products only coming from our cows? In other words, those products which are called ahimsa, based on natural care and protection of the cows throughout their whole life. What we have is a resolution that has been presented by the governing body commission of the society. And that resolution is that, and I'll read the resolution. It says, by Janmashtami of 2022, all ISKCON centers should develop a plan whereby all milk and milk products, butter, ghee, yogurt, etc., offered to the deities are procured from protected cows. The centers may approach the International Ministry of Cow Protection for assistance. Now, this resolution is based on a number of tenets that were discussed and then formulated into this resolution. This resolution is, it says here, it says, and I'll read some of the principles that make up this resolution. Prabhupada made a statement, it's from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 17, verse number 3. He said, these greatly sinful activities are responsible for all troubles in the present society. And what he was referring to is this, the wanton, continuous, organized, and systematic slaughter of cows. Based on that statement, and there is another statement which is contrary to that, which gives the understanding. It says here, this is also from Srila Prabhupada 1:16-19, Srimad Bhagavatam. The bull is the emblem of the moral principle, and the cow is the representative of the earth. When the bull and cow are in a joyful mood, it is understood that people of the world are in a joyful mood. And you might say, wow, if the cow and bull are happy, then the people of the world are happy. That's a pretty, when we say sweeping statement, it seems a little bit beyond practicality. But it's not when you understand the role of cows in human society and cows as individuals, living entities. We know, as Krishna says, Go Brahmanya Hitaya Cha Jagahitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha, that he is the protector of both the cows and the brahmanas. Now there's one statement, and I have it here somewhere. It'll take me a little while to find it, but I'll just paraphrase the statement where it says that, and Prabhupada quotes it, that from Krishna's point of view, he gives protection to the cows, to the brahmanas, to women, to old people, and to children. These are the 5 categories of living entities that require protection outside of themselves. Now, in these 5, Krishna mentions that out of the 5, the 2 most important, because they are the foundation for a human society, a civilized, progressive society, a spiritual society, are the cows and the brahmanas. But then Krishna goes on to qualify his statement by saying that out of the 2, the cows are the most important. He gives priority of the cows over the brahmanas. Now that sounds quite amazing when you think about it, because you might even say an animal is given priority of a very high-class human being. So yeah, because when we understand what the cow is and how it fits into human culture, and what is the nature of the cow, and what is the cow's role to support life in this world, then we understand that statement to be very clear and correct. The present society is a demoniac society because they relentlessly and ruthlessly send living entities to the slaughter in different ways. And one of the main living entities that get abused is the cow. So when you look at it from a point of view of priority, out of all the living entities that are available, the cow, from Krishna's point of view, is the most important, and it is the most abused within today's world. So and Prabhupada says, this is the cause of all problems in the world. It's not a small thing when Prabhupada said, this is the cause of all problems in the world, not just some of the problems. Because these living entities, all living entities are dear to Krishna. Aham Pita, Krishna says, I am the seed-giving father of all living entities. but he takes special concern and care to those who are helpless. And the cow is one of the most helpless of all. It simply depends on the human culture to take care of it properly and give it what it needs in order to live happily and what we say in terms of their life. But we have what is called a society of cow killers, which go on regularly. I'm going to read some of the statements made by the Ministry of Cow Protection and Agricultural Milk for protected cows. And these are some of the things which were the basis that formulated this particular resolution. Again, I'll read the resolution for those who just joined by Janmashtami 2022. All ISKCON centers should develop a plan whereby all milk and milk products, butter, ghee, yogurt, etc., offered to the deities are procured from protected cows. That means our farms. The centers may approach the International Ministry of Cow Protection for assistance. Okay. Here are some of the tenets, it says here. Whereas the current commercial dairy systems of the world in which the older cows, practically all bulls, young and old, most female calves are slaughtered is thoroughly condemned and abhorrent. Whereas ISKCON is established for more than 50 years and has matured to the stage where it is possible to establish alternate supplies of ahimsa milk, or dairy from cows, farms where all cows and bulls are protected for their entire life. Whereas ISKCON's sixth purpose, when Prabhupada formulated the purposes of ISKCON in 1966 in New York, the sixth purpose out of the seven, it says, is to bring the members closer together for the purpose of teaching a simpler and more natural way of life. Whereas Prabhupada desired that urban ISKCON centers should be connected to rural ISKCON farming communities where devotees would produce food and milk to supply the urban centers. In other words, all of our urban centers would be supported by products, both agricultural and milk products coming from our farms. And that way we'd have the best, and the cows would also get the protection they required. Whereas Srila Prabhupada stated that we should keep the cows very happy and without fear. And when we do so, they will produce double the quantity of milk. That will happen naturally when the cow knows, and the cow does know. We might not be aware of it, but the cow knows whether they're going to be slaughtered or not. And they live in fear. And therefore, the milk that comes from these cows that live in fear is actually unhealthy. And that's the basis of the vegan movement. The vegan movement came into because they came up with reasons why milk is unhealthy. The milk is not unhealthy. It's in fact one of the most healthiest and nutritious foodstuffs. Of course, taken in regulated quantities, not too much. But milk itself is the most finest food because it nourishes finer brain tissues, which are necessary for understanding philosophical and spiritual teachings. And milk in and of itself is the cow's love for its calf. So when the cow is in fear and the milk is taken from the cow in that fearful condition, or forcibly taken from the cows, we have many statistics where these commercial dairies, what do? In order to produce or to increase the milk supply, they have these different hormones they inject into the cow, which forcibly produces makes the cow produce more milk than it normally does. And they can do that even without the calf. The calf is the initial thing to inspire the production of milk, and then they push it. And by 4 or 5 years of doing that to a cow, the cow is completely drained and is ready for the slaughterhouse. So these cows that go in commercial dairies, they eventually wind up in slaughterhouses because there is a pact or an agreement, business agreement between the commercial dairies and the slaughterhouse industry. And the slaughterhouse industry gets the cows that they can no longer produce after being forcibly given milk, taking milk from them in a very rapid pace, way beyond their normal cycle of producing milk. And therefore, the cows are slaughtered. So if we buy into these commercial dairies for our milk, we're actually not indirectly, but directly supporting cow slaughter. So this is one of the reasons why these addendums or these principles have been written, just to show that it's not that even if you drink milk, it doesn't matter, you're not eating any meat. No, when this milk comes from these cows that are about to be slaughtered or being, what we say, forcibly drained of whatever milk products they could give, we're actually buying into the slaughterhouse industry. And here I'll go on to say, whereas several ISKCON projects have demonstrated the feasibility of supplying ahimsa milk. So we have many. We have our we have our farms in different places around the world. Some have more cows than others. We have our New Vrindavan. We have our Gita Nagari, especially, which is very high in bringing out milk and at the same time distributing it to the larger U.S. area. We have and we also have the farm in Hungary, New Rajadam there. Then we have our farm in Vrindavan. And where I am in Slovenia and Croatia, there are many devotees here, not many, but quite a few, that have their own little farms. And so there's one devotee in Croatia, and he produces milk products and he gives it to the temple. Milk and cheese he provides for the deities there and for the devotees in the temple. So there are programs going on, but it's very insignificant compared to what is actually needed worldwide. It says, whereas the Ministry of Agriculture and Cow Protection is prepared to support the development of ahimsa dairies. So this agency, which is one of the agencies within the GBC, the Ministry of Agriculture, is prepared to support, that means help develop these farm communities where we can develop cow protection, cow care. I put a lot of point on this word. Cow protection is not really a nice way to describe keeping cows. It's more like cow care, because cows are very emotionally complex. You may not see them, but they are. When you live around cows, you'll see how much they respond to individuals' emotions. And they're also very emotionally complex in the way they do things, even within their own society of animals. So the cow is a very interesting animal, very sensitive, and the most developed out of all the animals in the evolutionary scale. So when you compare the cow to any other animal, it's superior in all respects because of its position, both in the spiritual realm, because when we worship the deities, we do what is called abhishek, and there is what is called panchagavya. Gavya refers to cow, pancha means five substances that the cows give, and that is milk, yogurt, ghee, cow dung, and cow urine. So there is a particular feature or type of abhishek that goes on where we use these 5 substances. We put cow dung and cow urine onto the deity itself, because these elements are actually pure. Although they're coming from the cow in this way, they are actually pure because everything about the cow is pure. Whereas in ISKCON, many installed deities do not get milk from slaughter-free cows. So this addendum, or these principles, are being delineated here to show that although we've been going on as a society for more than 50 years, still the majority of installed deities do not get slaughter-free milk. Whereas continuing ISKCON's indirect support of cow slaughter industry by consuming dairy from this industry is based solely on financial reasons. This calls into question the sincerity of ISKCON's commitment to cow protection. And we have the support of Srila Prabhupada's statements to back up the glories of cow, taking care of the cow, worshiping the cow, and providing for the cow in all aspects of her life. I'm going to read a little bit from this book. I should mention that this book is available. You just write, you write to, we just need one volunteer. Maybe if Mother Srimati is available, and everyone can write to her, and I'll send her the book, and she can send you a copy of this book. It's just been recently done, and it's about 80 pages, and it covers many areas of what we're talking about in relationship to both. The natural lifespan of a cow is 20 years. In the dairy industry, cows are forced to produce unnatural quantities for 2 to 4 years in a row. As a result, their milk product decreases, and usually after 5 years, they're no longer financially useful. In the United States alone, 9 million dairy cows milked each year. 3 million reached the point of exhaustion in our slaughter. These facts are gathered from the US, but this is not less true in countries including India. So India itself, in fact, India, Brazil, China, the US, and one other, I forgot the other one. 5 countries lead the world in slaughterhouse industry. In India, although it's supposed to be a land of dharma, is one of the leaders in cow killing. Okay, so here's a purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada is talking about the symptoms of the age of Kali. Milking the cow means drawing the principles of religion in the liquid form. The great rishis and munis would live only on milk. Even 50 years ago, no one would deprive a sadhu of a quart or 2 of milk, and every householder would give milk like water. for the one who follows the Vedic principles, it is the duty of every householder to have cows and bulls as a household paraphernalia, not only for drinking milk, but also for deriving religious principles. The followers of the Vedic principles worship cows on religious principles and respect Brahmanas. The cow's milk is required for the sacrificial fire. Performing sacrifices, the householder can be happy. The cow's calf not only is beautiful to look at, but also gives satisfaction to the cow. And so she delivers as much milk as possible. There's one story, it's not a very pleasant story, but I'll mention it. There was one girl, she wanted to get some milk that was free from violence. So she was directed to, this was in India, and she went to this one little goshala there. And she met the person, he said he was going to sell her some milk, but he had a way to bring the milk out of the cow. So what he would do, and he did it in front of her, he took the calf and brought it over to the cow. The calf started to suckle his mother, and as soon as the milk started to flow, he pulls the calf away, and then they can continue to take milk out of the cow. Now, this is cruel. When this girl who came to get milk saw this, she became really upset and immediately left. So there are how people treat the cows in order to maximize the milk they can get from them. And then when the cow no longer can produce that, then they send them to the slaughterhouses. And then we have another topic, and that is the bull. The bull, in Western society, has no practical value. So all they use the bull to is to impregnate the cow, so the cow can have a calf, and then that's the only thing the bull does, and then the bull is no longer useful, and then it's sent to the slaughterhouse. This is how they treat the bull. But bulls are also cows, they're male cows. And they deserve just as much care and protection as any living entity, especially female cows. And so in our Krishna consciousness society, we have opportunities to use the bull for what it's meant for. And therefore the bull can be yoked to a plow, or can be connected to wagons, and they can haul loads. They can help plow the fields. The bull has a very essential and important part in any kind of human culture. So what we're also saying is that in today's society, the bull has no use because they have taken the bull out of society and placed it with tractors, these machines. And so they think that these machines will satisfy them. And therefore the bull has no use. But in our society, of course, Prabhupada's preaching was to create farm communities, and there the bull would have ample service and be happy, and also have a chance to live out its life as it was destined to do so. I'll read some more. The cow's calf not only is beautiful to look at, but also gives satisfaction to the cow. So when the cow, I have in this book, there's one picture where one farmer is trying to take a calf away from its mother, and the mother is charging after the farmer, trying to get his calf back. So The love between the calf and the cow is very, very deep and very, very sweet. Only when you actually live around cows can you see that. How much the cow loves its calf and vice versa. That's why when we speak in terms of devotional terminology, there is one rasa, it's called Vatsalya ras. Vatsalya ras means parental affection. And so you'll see that parental affection is at its height when you see cow and calf together. There is no greater affection found anywhere. And that's why we call it Vatsalya ras. Although it applies to our human relationships, it's indicating of the cow and calf's relationship. So when the cow sees its calf, it becomes happy. And then it wants to give its milk. Here, but it says, in Kali Yuga, the calves are separated from the cows as early as possible. For purposes, and Prabhupada says, which may not be mentioned in these pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. The cow stands with tears in her eyes, and the Sudra milkman draws milk from the cow artificially. And when there is no milk, the cow is sent to be slaughtered. These greatly sinful acts are responsible for all troubles in society, in present society. People do not know what they are doing in the name of economic development. The influence of Kali will keep them in the darkness of ignorance. Despite all endeavors for peace and prosperity, they must try to see that cows and bulls are happy in all respects. So it's foolish to think that people can be happy without making the cows and calves happy. It's not possible. There will never be any peace in society, and there will always be turmoil as long as the cows and calves are systematically slaughtered for economic reasons. Foolish people do not know how one earns happiness by making the cows and bulls happy, but it is a fact by the laws of nature. As in Prabhupada ends, let us take it from the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam and adopt the principles of the total happiness of humanity. And that starts with and develops from proper care and protection of the cows. So I'll stop there. I'm going to continue with this topic tomorrow. But I gave a little bit today just to open up the subject matter. But it's based on the idea that we as a society, we need to look both individually and collectively on how we can move away from supporting this industry of cow slaughter by directly supporting it by buying and using milk products produced by commercial dairies. I'll give you a statement by, let me see if I can find it here. It's here somewhere. This statement is by Shivaram Maharaj. And Shivaram Maharaj, he was the one that developed that farm community in New Rajadam. And he tells you how he lives based on, here is his statement. We cannot condemn anyone for killing cows and simultaneously support their business financially. I don't consume any dairy unless its source is compatible with what we have in our Krishna Valley, which is Rajadam. Blood milk, milk from the commercial industry, is not for me. I travel a lot, and ahimsa, or cruelty-free milk, is not widely available. So therefore, I am mostly dieting as a vegan. So he says, yeah, he takes milk products when he can get it from, protected cows coming from our communities. Otherwise, he follows veganism. This is a statement by me that was asked to me in an interview. I'll read. Vedic culture centers around three main principles for a balanced, wholesome society: cow protection, Brahminical culture, and God consciousness. These three principles are indigenous within a materially wholesome and spiritually progressive society. So what am I saying? I'm simply repeating the words of Srimad Bhagavatam, that society, a human society, is based on these three things. Brahminical culture, that means a spiritual culture. Practice and worship of God as a daily function of the human society, and protection and care of the cows. That makes up your human society. Therefore, today we live in a society which is more like controlled by and propagated by principles based on rakshasa, demoniac principles, which are simply meant to destroy the society and destroy the individuals in it. And therefore, we have so many problems. Okay, so I'm going to stop there and see if there's any comments or questions from the devotees. And again, if you're interested in the book, I have it on my computer. I'll send it to Mother Srimati, and you can get a copy from her. And it's very interesting. When my god sister first put it together, she included a lot of the horrors going on in slaughterhouse industry. But when she realized that this is too much, she redid the whole book and just mentioned a few things and took out all of the pictures, because some of those pictures were so horrific that anybody with any kind of sensibility would become aghast simply coming in contact. So we don't really know how horrible the cow is treated. It's treated very badly. Okay, so
thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for enlightening us on this topic. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, if you have any questions or comments, please go ahead. And please turn on your cameras if you want.
Please feel free to speak whatever's on your mind, because I know it's a difficult topic, because there's so many factors dealing with this topic that impacts on our day-to-day life. So. Sri Devi.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Guru Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you, Guru Maharaj. All glories to Mother Cow. Guru Maharaj, first I'd like to know the author of this book. Is it Mother Vishwadika?
It's in the same place where you're living.
Okay.
It's Mother Vishwadika, yeah.
Okay. Guru Maharaj, as you were speaking throughout the lecture, I was just, deeply affected by the scale. We really don't realize, even as devotees, what is happening in the world, especially to Mother Cow. So as you were recounting all those things and the direct impact of what is happening in the world today, I realized how urgent it is for us to bring that into our consciousness. It's not really in our consciousness so much. We know it's happening, but by speaking on this topic, I want to thank you for bringing it to the forefront of our day-to-day living and making us sensitive to this concept that we are contributing directly to cow slaughter if we are not supporting ahimsa milk. That, I think, is something we don't readily understand. So thank you for bringing that out. I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the, once you understand how everything is working, you can see the connection between supporting the commercial dairy industries and the cow. And therefore, we can't really call ourselves, we can't speak out against cow slaughter if we're supporting the same industry that adheres to cow slaughter. So, yeah.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. Goes to Prabhupada, goes to you. I'm just trying to turn on my video and then I'll talk. Just give me 10 seconds. Guru Maharaj.
Okay, sure. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Sorry, I had to join from another device. I just want to share some realization and stories because I'm associated with Gita Nagri. I think we go in, my personal realization is, first of all, thank you for bringing it up. This is very important. I don't think many of the devotees realize what you're saying. You see, recently I attended one class by a devotee in Mayapur, and he said the realization, the knowledge, please correct me if I'm wrong, is acquired in 3 phases. One is by hearing, another is by realization, and then the third one is by revelation. So we may get knowledge by hearing, but there is no realization attached in most of our cases, unless and until I actually got a chance to associate with the cows and devotees who take care of the cows in Gitanagari. So we went through phases. You see, first we used to buy, when I was not living in near Gitanagari, the milk which is like regularly available. You know, the gallon milk. And then okay, no, that is not good. So maybe we should buy organic milk. And then we go to Gitanagari, and then we buy Gitanagari milk, which meets criteria for both organic and non-slaughter. What it does, or what it has done to us, is that it has changed our consciousness. So initially, I used to feel, before transitioning to Gitanagari, that what is the big deal? You know, what's the big deal? It's the milk. But actually, it is a big deal. The consciousness is different. The minute it touches the body, you can feel the pain. I don't know. It's something which you have to really feel. And the minute you take Gitanagari milk, it's different. There is a devotee in Atlanta who orders milk from Gitanagari the whole year supply at once. So they ship like the whole truckload of milk to his house for the one whole year. He has such big freezers. And he wrote to us that he has 2 boys. Both the boys had ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And they were on medications and therapy and school plan and whatnot. But ever since they transitioned to this slaughter-free milk, the children have come off all the medications, and their temperament is controlled, and their consciousness is so stable. So it really does make a difference.
Amazing. That's an amazing story. How effective, you know, slaughter-free milk or milk given by happy cows. And the cows know that they're not going to be killed, they're happy and they're taken care of nicely. That milk is a lot different from the milk of cows that are in fear or they know they're going to be slaughtered. It's completely different. It's not just a small thing. Although it looks the same from the vision, it's completely different, the effects it has on the body and on the mind. Yeah, that's a nice point. Yeah.
And we see, like, there was a cow which was rescued and was brought to Gitanagari last year, middle of last year. All the cows in Gitanagari are so friendly. You know, you can pet them, you can go near them, you can brush them, or you can, my son actually goes and hang out with them a lot. So, but this particular cow was very fearful. You know, you can't touch her. She was a milking cow, and you can't go near her. The minute she sees a human being, she will start growling and howling and get away, like get out of my field of vision. So we were like, is it a tiger or a cow? We were confused. But with the patience and care, now she's also like the other ones. And the cows have a lot of behavior connection with each other. I mean, I think we should invite Dhruva Prabhu to talk about it, because he can write volumes and volumes of books on how the cows are talking to each other. There is I don't remember the name of the cow. I think my children will know the name. They all have spots, okay, for milking. And one day, if you change their spot, they don't like it. They don't like that you move them. So to put them, it's very so nice to watch. They both like interchange amongst themselves. This is mine and that is yours. So change.
Sounds like us,
They are. And one time when I lived in summer in Gitanagri, one devotee told me, why don't you go around with a veterinary doctor who takes, who they call when the cows are sick, and go and learn how to take care of basic things in the cow when they're sick, so that we don't have to call the veterinary every time while you're here. So I did go around with that vet, a big animal. Whenever she had a big animal clinic, I did go around and I saw the difference between the cows in Gitanagri versus the cows in other farms. It was overcrowding, and the way they were delivering the kid, the way they were impregnating the cows. And one cow was made to deliver 2 babies in a year, which the vet told me is a lot. One cow is supposed to give birth to one child once every 2 or 3 years, but she had to give birth to a year. And what happened, that her fourth stomach got twisted, so we had to go, and she had to, the vet who I was interning with, she had to go and make a hole in the skin, get the thing inside and untwist the stomach. And the way the farmer was handling the cow was horrible. He was punching her, he was putting the foot on her face so that she doesn't cry in pain, and he saves money not giving pain medication. Not good.
Yeah, these are just one of so many horror stories that are going on with cows. And so people expect, well, how will life go on and get better? We want happiness, we want peace, we want freedom from anxiety. It'll never happen as long as the cow is being abused and systematically slaughtered in these places and mistreated also. It's not it's only can you can understand this when you understand it from a spiritual point of view. The connection between this animal and everything we do in society. It's only understood through the spiritual knowledge. Cows are very dear, and that's why Krishna's planet is called Goloka. It's the planet of the cows. It's not like his planet is Go London or something like that. It's Goloka.
Very nice.
It's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source, the Sunam Bonam, the source of all existence. He's a cowherd boy. It's not accidental that he happens to be a cowherd boy.
And I didn't know that the cows breathe out oxygen. Like we breathe out carbon dioxide, but they breathe out oxygen. And they purify the place. I didn't know that until I went to Gitanagri.
Yeah. And if the bull walks on the fields, it automatically, by the touch of the hooves of the bull on the fields, it helps to fertilize the fields for agriculture, just by walking on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That was very nice, Prem Kishori. Yeah, keep pushing this ahimsa milk thing. It's important. Tell your friends and everybody else how. And you're fortunate you live so near Gitanagri, which is the best place, at least in the America, for getting all these products.
Yes. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Only blocker I see practically is that the people feel that it's expensive. That's the blocker that I see.
Yeah, I think they need to work on a program to reduce the expenses so they can bring it down. And that part of that means more farms. If we get more farms going, then there'll be more and more availability in local areas, because I know for a fact that the large part of the price of buying milk from Gitanagari is the shipping. It's to ship the milk from Gitanagari to whoever wants it. Because the shipping is actually more than the price of the milk. And that's what's making it so expensive, is the shipping.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Shori.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hope the children are well. The children are doing good.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you. Your mercy.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Sri Devi, you want to again say something?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. I was thinking as you were mentioning about the father bull and how it sanctifies the land. So many things are associated with mother cow. The farmer puts seeds into the old cow horns, and under certain rays of the moon or something at a certain time, according to the farmer's almanac, when you do that, the seeds have the best chance for for growing nicely. I'm not a farmer, I don't know all those details, but I remember hearing this when I was in Mississippi, that horn, after she's gone, even her horn is useful for putting the seeds in under the moonlight, something like that. And then they grow very nicely because of the rays of the moon on the seeds in the cow horn. So I was thinking that, mother cow has so many different benefits for the human being. We don't even understand now. Prem Makishori is saying about this oxygen is something, I didn't know before. So we come to know so many things about mother cow simply by such discussions. And I'm really thankful to hear all these things. I also wanted to say one thing, Guru Maharaj, as you were speaking. I heard one very senior Prabhupada disciple giving class, and just a day or two before he had given class, some horrific murder or something like that had taken place in the outside world, and we were discussing, and in class he said that Srila Prabhupada writes that those who kill mother cow will be cruelly killed themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
We should not be surprised when we see what is happening in the outside world, small kids being killed by their own parents. We are reading every day, all kinds of things happening in the world. This is all as a direct result of this cow slaughter going on.
The Manu Samhita says that the killing of a cow is equal to killing two men. Killing of one cow is equal to killing two men. So it's punishable actually by law. We see, if you simply read the Srimad Bhagavatam, the first canto, how Maharaj Parikshit was really angry when he saw that low-class men simply beating the legs of a bull. How angry he was and how he was ready to kill that person. But fortunately, the person begged for mercy, and he gave him mercy, but he drove him out of the kingdom. So in a Vedic society, a true Vedic society, this would never go on. It would be immediately stopped by the ruling authorities.
Yeah, and now that we're talking about this, I'm remembering other classes too. I remember once in class again reading that if anyone kills mother cow, as many hairs there are on the body of mother cow, that many times he will have to take birth and be killed.
Yeah, it'll come up in due course of time. Of course, people can be free from that reaction if they take the devotional service, but generally people don't, so their destiny is there. There is the Great Chicago Fire. I don't know if you ever heard of that. That was back in the 1800s, around 1870. Chicago was the biggest slaughterhouse industry in the United States. Since then, they moved the slaughterhouses out of Chicago and they moved them into, Kansas, in that area, Kansas. But for years, decades, Chicago was the #1 place for killing cows. And then what happened was almost the entire city of Chicago burnt down. And what happened was a cow kicked over a lamp, or whatever, one of these little lamps that had fire, what do they call them, and then there's fire in it for lighting, and it caught some hay and it started fire in the barn, and then it spread, and practically the whole city of Chicago was burnt down. It's called the Great Fire, Great Chicago Fire. The cow got even with the rest of the whole city by burning down the city after cows were slaughtered in that city for so long. So that whole city, practically, they had to rebuild that whole city. It took years to rebuild Chicago after that happened. As you can read about that, there's a history called the Chicago Fire. It's back in the 1800s, towards the end of the 1800s, I think. So yeah, there's horrific reactions upon the society. I could read you a statement by, let me see, I'll read that tomorrow, by some of these philosophers and what we say, philanthropists who understand deeper the connection between cow slaughter and the reactions that it has on human society. Okay, if there's anything else before we end, and tomorrow we'll continue with this discussion and I'll bring in some more information from other angles. Again, if you want the book, just contact Mother Srimati. Is that okay with you? If they contact you?
Yeah.
And I'll send you it as soon as we end this particular program.
Guru Maharaj, we have a question on chat by Anasuya Mataji. She's asking, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, what should temples do when guests donate non-ahimsa milk?
What should temples do when guests donate non-ahimsa milk? Good question. It's a donation. It's coming from something that they want to offer, but it's something that we shouldn't use. So I'll have that answer for you tomorrow on that one, because I'd have to consult with higher authorities on that one. I'm not sure, but usually we receive gifts from others, and of course people think milk is fine, but they don't know that they're coming from commercial dairies. So I would first say we shouldn't use it, but we should also say to the congregation, please do not donate these things. We should make it public that if you want to give a donation of some foodstuffs, there are so many things you can donate, but do not donate that.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think they should know that, because if they don't, they would automatically donate it.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Say Hare Krishna, Sanjay.
Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Anasuya.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Today's Vrinda's birthday.
Oh, good. How old is she? 4?
She's 3 now.
3. Oh, okay.
Say hi,
There she
Krishna.
is. You can see her, little Brenda. And she's got some friends with her. They have a
Oh,
birthday.
these are my nephews, Sanjay and Arjun.
Okay.
Say hi, Krishna. Say hi, Krishna.
Hi, Krishna. Krishna.
Happy birthday, Brenda.
Say thank you. Gosh.
Thank you.
3 years old.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, there is one more comment by Mansi Mataji. She is writing, Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for reminding us about Mother Cow. We do use Ahimsa milk here, and we are very, very grateful to devotees who initiate such projects, which are very dear to Lord Krishna.
Thank you. I always feel happy when I know the devotees are following that principle of not buying into milk coming from, commercial sources or any milk products. Butter, cheese, ghee, yogurt. It's hard, but I would say if you're still, we'll talk about this tomorrow. We'll talk about, what we can do as an individual to somehow streamline our life more in line with Ahimsa principles.
Sure, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
Okay, thank
Devi
you.
Mataji, you want to say anything?
If Guru Maharaj will kindly allow, Guru Maharaj, is there time?
Another question?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
So, Guru Maharaj, as devotees, we are, conscious of how we must take care of Mother Cow, and we must support only our farms and our cow projects and so on. But we have relatives, we have friends, we have other people who are not aware, and they are, still taking all these things. So how we should broach this subject to them, to sensitize them and to make them aware about what is happening and how much we are involved if we support these
Just play the tape back. That's all.
Okay. Thank you. Haribol.
You just have to explain to them why you believe and why you're acting in a certain way, and why you believe what you believe. You have to explain. And it's all very logical. So once they know, then maybe they'll be also more sensitive and more understanding of the situation, which may lead to them to changing their way of doing things. Communication,
Thank you so much,
communication, information has to go out. Once you see this little book, it's really nice. Read through it. It doesn't take long. It's got a lot of pictures in it also. And you get a lot of insight about this whole issue in a broader way.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Okay, Hare Krishna. And we'll see you all tomorrow. My obeisances, Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Thank you all devotees.
Thank you for your participation.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday. Happy birthday to Brenda.
Gosh.
Thank you, everyone. I'll send those who have requested. I'll send that book. Thank you.